Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Corporate Coffee. Today we have with us very, very attractive personality, somebody who's been in the industry for over, I would say, 2 decades or more. Very humble, very, very thorough, somebody who has a lot of, who's seasoned as a professional in HR. We have with us Arusa Miraj, CHRO, Jaffer Brothers Limited. Thank you, Arusa, for joining in.
Thank you so much, Saman. और जब आप मेरा इंट्रोडक्शन दे रही थी ना तो I was like ये कौन है?
You guys are my celebrity, of course.
इतना जबरदस्त आपने इंट्रोडक्शन दिया कि मैं तो वैसे ही चौड़ हो गई.
Well, you have all the rights. My people are sitting on this seat, especially this hot seat, which you guys are still asking me, what are you going to ask us? What are you going to ask us? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ask you one question.
All right.
One fiery question, and absolutely raw, filtered, and bold. That's how it's going to be.
I'm going to be unfiltered though.
Please. Okay, that's even better. So I will go unfiltered with you then.
Perfect.
So Arusa, you've been in the industry for over like 2 decades or more.
Yep.
And you've been, gone through your learning curve with MNCs and local and, you've seen this side, that side, both of the corporate and non-corporate side. So tell me one thing, over these years, being in HR, you must have, also gone through we have to do trainings, we have to do people development, we have to do skill development. But tell me, apart from people like you, why do companies think that if they've invested in a training, it's like a one-time lifetime vaccine?
बिल्कुल.
It's like chicken pox. You one-time lifetime, it's there and you'll be immunized for it for life. Yep. Why?
देखिए पहली चीज तो ये कि many organizations or many managers feel that it's like a corporate vaccine. एक दफा आपने लगा दिया and then it will do things for life. Whereas training is for a particular skill development.
Yeah.
And for any skill development is like going to the gym. You can't just go to the gym once and end up with 6 packs. You have to have a continuous reinforcement.
That is so true.
A continuous skill building, and skill building takes time. So ये एक perspective जो है कि जी demotivation है, training पे भेज दो, people will be motivated. That's a very narrow way of thinking.
That's a petrol pump, exactly. As we say analogy. You go to the petrol pump, you go, exactly. Fill up your tires with with approximately वो जो आपका numbers होते हैं हवा भरने के, वो करके वापस आ जाए.
बिल्कुल, और सब दौड़ने लगेंगे.
Yeah.
तो performance जो है वो इससे आ ही नहीं सकती. So I think identification of the right gap and how to fill that gap is where the key game is. And it's very important कि managers इस चीज को समझें और वो it's like passing the buck around.
Yeah.
तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा हमारे साथ issue होता है with HR people that there are a lot of misunderstandings and lack of that particular knowledge of how to actually bring that right performance in.
You're right.
So there are a lot of factors associated.
Because, when we talk about one-time lifetime achievement, one is about skill building and one is also when you talk about inculcating behaviors.
Absolutely.
So, when you do attitudinal trainings, when you do behavioral-based trainings, when you talk about neuro-linguistic programming infused trainings.
Exactly.
Right? So you can't just expect for, like, if you're going to, a doctor for one time, so it's going to give you a short-term win. But companies still, in this day and age, still believe that ट्रेनिंग पे तो भेजा था, why haven't you changed?
Exactly. और booster dose भी दोबारा नहीं लग रहा.
Yeah, booster भी नहीं लग रहा. Exactly.
One dose and you are.
One dose. Yeah. So what is your take on that? How will you mentor these people? How will you tell them this is not the right way?
I think it's all about building the right culture. कल्चर बहुत बड़ी टर्म है और बड़ा एक नैरो वे में इसको लिया जाता है. But I'm not going to dwell more onto the culture, but I will talk about the culture of learning.
Yeah.
How you can embed that is by having a holistic approach and a holistic process and a policy around it, which does not focus on the 10% of classroom training or learning or one-time learning, one-time intervention. In fact, it focuses on a 3E model of 70% which is on-the-job training.
Yeah.
So if it's a particular skill that you want this employee to have, then there has to be, a combination of on the job, what kind of assignments are given, what kind of cross-collaboration work that individual is doing, along with the kind of right exposure, and then that 10% of training, and again, the right training and the right...
Yeah, the 70-30-10 model, absolutely.
Exactly. So unless you don't have that, and you are putting it in place holistically, only then actual learning takes place, and not just training per se.
Thank you so much. It's actually very, very nice music to my ears.
Okay.
But when you touched upon culture, I have another question on this.
Yeah.
So, and it's not another question, it's like the first question and then it's the annexure. So if culture is everybody's responsibility, why is it HR's KPI?
Actually, culture is for leadership. Culture is like अगर बहुत अच्छा जा रहा है तो the credit is on us. लेकिन अगर कोई slippage हो जाए तो then आप संभाल लें, ये तो आपकी जिम्मेदारी है. Why?
So it's like the parent syndrome. If my son does well, it's the father, and if the son doesn't do well, what were you doing? Then the blame goes on the mother. Mostly this is what we face,
so
right?
We are the mother.
So we are the mother.
Whereas, the architecture we can develop as HR, we can develop the architecture, but actually the role modeling of that culture and those behaviors.
Yeah.
Culture is emitted through those behaviors, the right behavior. And who will exhibit those behaviors? It always trickles down from the top.
Absolutely.
So the top is behavior, top's behavior is in the right direction. It sort of drips down.
Absolutely.
That's the only way. There is no shortcut to it.
Yeah.
But somehow वो उसको समझ इस तरह से लिया जाता है कि जी ये तो HR का काम है.
Because when you talk about KPI, so HR's KPI is people development, personal development, transformation of culture.
Time से hiring कर लो, कर लो. Very shallow.
Okay, fine. Well, we talk about people, but when you talk about culture is a collection of people working in that specific home, organization, school, where that culture is seen through certain behaviors that are reflected.
Absolutely.
So don't you think that should be changed by now?
Of course, it should be changed, but not many leaders are taking that responsibility to lead the culture. Those that do, definitely they have.
Shouldn't it be on everybody's KPI?
Absolutely, it should be on everybody's KPI, but for most, I think it should be the KPI of the board.
Yeah.
As well as the top leadership. If they are not doing it, there is no point in asking anyone to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I as an HR would refuse to be part of that, culture. So either the culture is there for you or it's not there for you.
And, as we also say, the leaders, when we are sitting there, the top brass, then you have the board.
Absolutely.
Right? And then does everybody, because if you have even 2 people vetoed out of the 5, 10 people that are sitting there, 11 people that are sitting there, how do you then make it everybody's responsibility? How do you put up that case?
Actually, nobody would deny that. Honestly speaking, on the face of it, they will all put it there. They will all talk about the culture. They will all say that we exhibit that culture. But I think it stems from or it is reflected through the kind of behaviors their very down the line team is behaving and the kind of decisions that they take. Are those decisions are those decisions that they are taking, are they supporting that culture or not? Are these resonating with the behaviors that the organization wants or so projects as their values or not? So I think it's pretty visible.
When you write those values, you have walls to halls, it's written on your walls, it's up nice posters, spend a lot of time on branding. But when you're not going to embed or embody them,
absolutely.
So when you enter somebody's home, you know the norm and the culture of that house. So when somebody's walking into your house and you see all these nice posters hanging up, and you don't see it happening in everyday practices, so it's kind of a conflict.
Then it's a waste. Then it's just a lip service. Then it's you're just.
Is there a difference working with MNCs and local conglomerates when you talk about these things? Is there a difference in mindset?
The mindset definitely is there, but I think I have had experience, alhamdulillah, both places. But I feel the difference is by the people that you're working with. I think it's the people.
It's not the MNC, okay.
It's not just MNC. MNCs have it out loud there. It's very structured. It's very much out there. The clarity, the level of clarity is there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to behavior, it's the people. It's definitely the people.
Thank you for saying that.
So, and even in a state organization, again, fortunate enough to be working with the state. I've seen other states also. But at least, the top is very clear. The values are there. At least they're exhibiting. Not 100% there.
Yeah.
But to the extent that, you feel that trust is there. So I think it's the people that makes all the difference.
And do
in my
you give
experience.
good weightage when you're doing performance appraisal? Do you give good weightage to behavioral attributes?
Of course. I mean, it's not a said rule, but in many unsaid manners, it is there. It is very much there. You can't avoid it. You know, there have been cases when you're taking certain tough decisions on people based on those specific values, whether it's there or it's not there.
Yeah.
So I think it all stems from how the leadership is behaving.
Yeah, true.
If the top leader is following the book.
You know, because just being a leader and, you know, showing that flair on LinkedIn or any other, you know, social media platform or on your name cards or standing on a big platform of, you know, seminars and conferences. But I think the real leader is, you know, as you said, where the behaviors are actually embodied and
Absolutely.
displayed. That what's make you actually the, you know, the champions of that culture.
Absolutely.
So it could be anybody for that matter, because usually we say, wo to kar nahi rahe. You know, he's not doing it. You know, he's sitting at that top brass level, and you know he's not doing it. Would you think that they have to wait, or they can actually practice? Even
No, I think either it's there or it's not there.
Yeah.
It's in you. I mean, it's part of your character. जो हम
Yeah.
7 habits की बात करते हैं, though I'm a big fan.
हाँ.
So the heart of it is the character.
Yeah.
If the character is there, it's innate. It is there. It is part of who you are. It is part of who you. How
So
you
anybody
behave.
can be.
Anybody can be.
Yeah.
Anybody can be. But in organizations, your household may be the top leads it.
The top leads
if
it, yeah.
You see the top doing it. Otherwise, तो फिर corporate influencers है ना.
Yeah.
जो social media के ऊपर
You're
चल रहे हैं.
right. You're right about that.
So are we breeding corporate influentials
Yeah.
or true leaders?
And what is the one thing that you would want people to actually know about this? If it's an HR KPI, how do you bring that to life?
HR KPI.
KPI for maintaining and reorganizing culture of the organization.
I think if it's an HR KPI, is the HR empowered or not? I think I would start from there. How much empowerment does HR have?
Okay.
Does the HR has a voice? You know, if HR doesn't have a voice and it doesn't have a voice to the top leadership, and top leadership is not looking at HR as an expert, then though it's bilkul bekar. I mean HR is another puppet.
Yeah.
In the in the whole scheme of affairs.
You're right. You're right about
HR
that.
the puppet, or is HR an empowered body who can actually establish certain norms and can challenge the top leadership? Or
I
not?
love this.
I think that's where the real game is.
I think you've closed the conversation beautifully.
Thank you so much.
So basically, we close with this. Give autonomy, give the trust, make HR, working as a separate unit who have enough empowerment to actually bring about the changes for then to a consultant to come in to carry it forward with your people, at least lay the ground right.
Bilkul.
But Arusa, very nicely said. And thank you so much for giving me this light of day. Okay, yeah, we should be, it's high time. If it's an HR KPI, then, empower them.
Absolutely.
Give them the right. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much for putting me on the hot seat, on the spot.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. With this, we wrap up another episode of Corporate Coffee. See you next, inshallah. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.